Hey hippies, welcome back. It's Courtney Shavante here, and I have another super dope tutorial for you guys. It's for my new shaker money bag keychains along with the euro dollars yens and this manifest money keychain. But before we get started, make sure you do hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. Alright hippies, so what we're going to do to get started is we're just going to go ahead and prep our molds. This is what they look like, and we're also going to prep about 20 milliliters of resin here. So you're going to first choose a glitter mix. This is my Euphoria glitter mix. It's really pretty. However, it's not the one I ended up going with. However, you'll see the one I choose in just a moment. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to split this in half, and we're going to put about 10 milliliters into each of these little medicine cups. Make sure you do scrape all your resin out, especially since we're already working with such a tiny bit already, which is super dope because this whole set and everything, you know, it took less than 60 milliliters of resin. To be honest, I would say less than 50, which is super dope and everything because, you know, like, it saves you some money and it's a really great way to use your extra resin that you do have on the side. Now this is my Where the Cash At glitter mix, so I decided that this one was more fitting, so I went ahead and grabbed one and I just added 1 spoon of glitter into one of the resin cups. I'm just going to mix that up really well here. Now in this other cup, what I'm going to do is I'm going to color this white with some white mica powder. And I'm also going to use this white opaque alcohol ink that I have from Pxssy, and I do have it linked below for you guys as well. But yes, you're just going to get this stirred up really well and make sure that it's nice and opaque because you want the white to be a nice white that's not easily to see through. Now we're going to start by putting this white color into the rim of the money bag cavity. You don't want to overflow this part because you don't want it to get onto like the little surface where the etchings are and everything. So do be mindful of that. It only took me just a few drops or so to get that filled up nicely. Take that glitter mix and I'm going to go ahead and fill in that cavity that has the manifest that shit quote in there, and I'm going to use my little popsicle stick to make sure I do have the resin down in there nicely and there aren't any bubbles popping out either. Now after that, I'm just going to mix those two together, and that's what I'm going to use to fill up this little cavity right here at the top. This is the euros dollar yens one, inspired by the city girls. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and fill that one up. Now the one in the back, I am going to go ahead and fill that one all the way up to capacity, but the one with just the glitter, I only filled halfway so I can add another layer later. Using what's left over from these, I'm just using this stick to drop some resin into these little shaker bits. Now these shaker bits are really cute. They are 1/8 inch thick, so you are able to add them into your shaker trays. You're able to add them into these little shaker keychains. You're also able to make zipper pulls with them. You can make stud earrings or like little mini pins or things like that, so feel free to get creative with that. I love to see what you guys come up with. But yeah, I'm just going to make sure that I do have it in there, and I do want to be mindful when you are filling these, since they're really tiny, it's easy for the air bubbles to get trapped. So don't be afraid to get in there with a toothpick if necessary and really push that resin on in and spray with some alcohol once you're done placing everything, just to make sure you can release any extra bubbles that may float to the surface on you. Once we're finished getting everything filled, we're just going to allow this some time to cure. Alright hippies, so after that has cured, what you're going to do is go ahead and prep another 20 milliliters of resin here. I'm going to go ahead and color this green using some bright green mica powder, and I'm just going to stir that up really well. Now I do want to turn this into like a money green color. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using some alcohol inks to, you know, just kind of turn that hue into what I want it to be. So I'm using this avocado colored alcohol ink. I'm also going to use just a drop of this black alcohol ink just to deepen it a bit, and I'm going to stir that up really well. And you see how that went from that bright green color to that nice deep green color that I have here. So yeah, that's a little hack just in case the mica colors aren't working for you, like, you know, by themselves and everything. So I'm going to start by adding a little bit into the cavity where the money bag is. I'm just going to push the resin around to make sure there's no bubbles trapped on the etchings, and then I'm going to fill that to capacity. And then I'm going to come over here to the manifest that shit cavity, and I'm also going to fill that up with the green colored resin that I made as well. Go ahead and move over onto this shaker bit palette that's in the shape of this adorable little butterfly, which I think is adorable since this is about drugs and whatnot, but whatever. Anyway, so I went ahead and put that in there. I'm just going to fill these up and everything, and once I get them filled, I'm going to spray alcohol as I always do to make sure that I have a nice even backing and all the bubbles are popped, and then we're going to allow this some time to cure. Alright, it's time for the fun part now. So we're just going to go ahead and wiggle these from our mold. Do be careful, especially with these tinier pieces, because you don't want to bend them. So bend the mold so that way it loosens them up, and then from there you can just go ahead and pop each of these out. Some of them have etchings on them, some of them do not. I'm going to be showing you guys how to work with a couple of them. I went ahead and, you know, made some of all of them so you can see them all on screen and everything, but I'm not going to be using all of them in the shaker this go around, but you'll see which ones I end up going with and how I attach them in just a few. From here, we're going to go ahead and demold our keychains. Now, after you demold your keychains, you're just going to pop them off to the side, and then we're going to clean our molds and move them off to the side so we can move on to the next thing. What you want to do now is you want to go ahead and prep a little bit of acrylic paint. I am using this black excuse me, I can't speak today. I'm using this black acrylic paint here, and I'm using my paintbrush to paint this into the etchings here. I am trying to be mindful of the edges. I'm trying not to paint directly into the corners and everything, especially since it's white there. The black paint, if it gets trapped there, it will be very noticeable if you can't get out with the Q-tip, or if you're just having a hard time getting the paint out when we do have to wipe it off after it dries. So just keep that in mind and everything, depending upon what colors and stuff you're using. But yeah, you're just going to take your paintbrush and paint into the etchings of each of these pieces that you do want to use, and you want to make sure you have a nice even coat, because that will make sure that it's still visible and you don't have any wear and tear, and you just really get the effect. So I'm going to let you guys watch me paint here, enjoy the time lapse of me holding like the pliers and stuff because my nails were getting hard. So that's another little hack right there. If you have long nails, use some pliers or something like that to hold the pieces in place while you're painting. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys enjoy the time lapse now, and I will catch you once these finish up drying. Now that those are dry, you should have wiped them clean and everything. I've shown that in previous videos, so I won't be showing it here. But what we're going to do now is we're just going to take some clear acrylic spray paint and we're just going to spray that nice even layer and let that dry completely. Once it's had a chance to completely dry, what you're going to do is you're going to take some double-sided tape here and you're going to take a piece of clear transparency film. You're just going to attach it to the little keychain and you're going to take a fine tip Sharpie marker and just trace around the keychain mold. Get a nice little rim going here, and then once you have a nice line and you can see where you need to cut, you're going to cut on the inside of that line. So you want to make sure there aren't any black pieces showing, and you're also going to want to put it up against the actual keychain piece just to make sure that it's to fit and you have it cut exactly how you need it, because you don't want it to go over the side of the actual keychain. So do keep that in mind when you're measuring and trim as necessary. Alright, so now that we've gotten that cut to fit and we went ahead and wiped it off, especially if you're not using gloves, you want to wipe your fingerprints off and get that nice and clean. So after you do that, you're just going to prep your things that you're going to be putting inside. I have the glitter mix. I'm still using Where the Cash At, and I'm also using one of these little weed leaf charms along with one of my money $ charms, and also a gun charm from my Etsy shop, which is always linked below for you guys, so that way you can use these awesome products as well. I'm going to take a tiny little bit of glitter. It's not even a full spoonful. It's really just like the tip. So you just want to put the tip on in there and knock that on into the money shaker cavity. From there, you're going to take your film, make sure you know it's still to fit, do a nice last little check. Take your UV resin, add a layer all the way around the rim. Well, I'm sorry, not all the way around, but almost all the way around. You want to leave a little bit of space so that way you don't completely seal it off. And then I put a toothpick there just to make sure it kind of holds the hole in place. And I'm just going to place this film on top, and I'm going to seal it using a black light off camera. Alright, so once that's sealed, I'm going to take my oil bottle that I have in this needle tip bottle here, and I'm going to stick it in where that toothpick is, remove the toothpick, and just go ahead and fill this up to where it's just about full. You do want to leave a bit of air in there because that's what allows the charms and everything to be able to move around freely within the little shaker charm. So just go ahead and press. Do take your time. Keep in mind that this is sped up. I'm going to insert the toothpick back, or try to, at least. Like, it's kind of hard. I'm doing this on camera, but yeah, I'm going to insert the toothpick there and then just add a few drops of the UV resin into that whole area where the toothpick is. I'm going to ensure that it's, you know, in there really good and there aren't any gaps where any oil can seep through, because it'll be really hard to clean. Trust me, it'll be really hard to clean, so you want to make sure that the oil does not seep through. Press that on down, and then you can go ahead and come in with your black light to seal that. So get it sealed. You see me like kind of trying to maneuver all of this. They do have handheld UV lights that are a whole lot easier, so keep that in mind. You don't have to do it the hard way that I'm doing, but I do like the black light more. I feel like it cures it a whole lot faster than the little lamp that I have, but I brought a cheap one, so yeah, if I get a new one, I'll let you know. Now that you've gotten everything good to go, everything sealed and dried up for you, what you're going to do is take your resin and you're just going to add a nice layer on top so that way it does not overflow. And you're just going to spread that resin around evenly so you create a nice even layer all over the paint and all over the etchings and everything, so that way it seals everything in nicely. This is called doming. For those who aren't aware, you're basically just going to be sitting here doming your pieces, and that just seals in the paint that you are using. And as you can see, I'm using very tiny bits onto these shaker bits because I really don't want them overflowing if I can help it. So, you know, just be mindful of that. You want to add enough so that way it covers the surface. Alright hippies, so that should be nice and cured for you and everything. What we're going to do is we're going to take our little utility blade here, and if there were any drippings that you had on any of your keychains, you can just take that and cut them right on off. So that should make it a little bit easier, and it's a bit healthier than the actual sanding because it doesn't put any resin particles into the air or anything like that. So make sure all your pieces are nice and clean and whatnot. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be adding some bails onto the backs of these. So we're going to be using this trusty E6000 glue that I am always struggling with. And we're just going to use that same little medicine cup that I had turned upside down. I'm going to add some E6000 glue onto this cup so that way I have it accessible. And then I'm just going to take each bail and I'm going to dip it into that glue and then add it onto the keychain onto the back and press it into place exactly where I want it. Once I have it where I want it, I'm going to move it onto the side, and then I'm going to repeat this step for all of these keychains. Alright, so as you're getting those secured and whatnot, you're going to see me take this little hand drill, and you're going to see me actually add in a screw pin. I think that's what it's called. And I'm going to like try to add this onto this little money bag one, just to see if I can. Now I end up not using it because the screw key pin whatever thing, it actually ended up cracking the resin. So I think these may be a bit too thin for you to actually drill into. However, if you are able to, then you know, by all means go ahead and give it a shot. But I think the glue on bails are a bit easier for these since the actual shaker bits are pretty thin. If it was at a 1/4 inch, then it would be fine, but at the 1/8 I don't think so. But yeah, after I get all these bails added on and everything, I'm just going to allow all these a chance to completely dry. Alright, so now that these are completely dry, what we're going to be doing now is we're just going to be adding some jump rings, some charms, some keychains, and some other really cool things. So you're going to take your pliers and you're going to open up your jump rings, and then from there the possibilities are really endless. You can start by adding different charms and some of these shaker bits onto the actual jump rings and attaching them to each other. So I'm going to show you guys a couple different methods and everything that I'll be using and whatnot, like for these 3 keychains. So I'm going to do them all completely different, so that way you guys can kind of check the vibes and see what it is that you like to do, and I'll just kind of explain along the way. Now this is the one that I'm adding the actual charms to and everything, the little shaker pieces. So I just kind of stack them on top of each other, so it says like manifest that shit, and it has like the little period thing on there, and I think that's like really cute. On this one, what I'm going to be adding is I added on a few charms. One was a locket and one was a key, and I thought they were really cute and everything, so I went ahead and put those on there, since you know the City Girl song. I ain't gonna say the name of it on here and whatnot, but euros, dollars, yens, you know the vibes. So onto the other keychain, I am going to be adding on the little 420 symbol onto the money bag, along with that jump ring and the keychain holder and whatnot, just to make it really, really cute. So onto the which one is this? The Eurodollar. I'm sorry, I can't see, guys. I have the little icon on there. On the Eurodollars yen one, I went ahead and added a tassel, which was super cute. It's in the green color that's very similar to the green resin that I had made earlier. Now on this shaker bag keychain, what I'm going to be adding on is a little palm. It has that cute little hook on there. I'm just going to hook that on, and then you'll see the final result once we close this off. Alright, hippies, ta-da! Our money bag shaker keychain is up first, and I think she is absolutely beautiful. I am so in love. I love how the little charms look inside. I love how the palm looks. Like, yes, look at that little dollar sign blinged out charm in there. It's available on my Etsy shop, as I told you guys before. Like, yes, like this is so cute. And I love all the little movement in there, and it's just super girly, perfect for some money manifestation. My boss ladies out there, really anyone, just about to hustle. Now, the other one that we have here, this is our euros, dollars, and yens keychain. I love this one as well. I really like how the glitter looks with that white color. I love how the charms complement the keychain, and this little tassel is totally adorable as well. It really complements the glitter, and it's a nice little simple keychain. Now, our third and last, but totally not least keychain is the Manifest That Shit keychain, because we're all about that money manifestation over here, okay? Now, I love how it has the where the cash at little charm there hanging off, and that has the period hanging off there, and it's underlined, so you know we serious about it. Like, you know we are not playing out here. Do you feel me, hippies? Like, I know y'all hear me. Make sure you go get your mold from my Etsy shop. I want to see what you guys create using this mold. I know you guys are going to make some beautiful pieces and whatnot, and I can't wait to see all the abundance that you guys bring into your life. If you love this video as much as I love creating it for you guys, make sure you leave a comment and a thumbs up for me. I love hearing from you all. And until next time, hippies, XO. Mwah.